hello, I lost you. I'm hoping you found me again. I don't know what happened there. My internet crashed as I was busy crafting away. I'm glad I realised fairly quickly. So hopefully you will be back. I was selecting my stuff. I need some leaves. Yay! Thanks, Carol. Just disappeared. My internet decided to crash, so I'm just making sure from playing the other day that these are actually clean. Hi Jeanette, thank you. I was chatting away to myself there. So anyway, so I've got my stamps out, so I'm going to do some balmy blue flowers with some Highland Heather centres. So I'm going to cluster these larger stamps together and use that one as an infill, and then add some leaves. Position that sort of there. Let's try that. And then this one will pop in and just fill that gap there. We're going to have a sentiment going across the middle, so I'm not too worried about what's going on in the centre of that there, although what I don't have is my little centres. So there's two different centres to the flowers in this set. A bigger, oh no, not in that colour. Yes. At least you found me again though, Jeanette. Don't know what happened. I was just, all of a sudden, I was gone. The joys of being live. But thank you for persevering and finding me again. I do appreciate it. And this smaller one kind of does have that centre bit already in there, but I'm going to pop a Highland Heather centre in, and then I'm going to add some leaves. I just had a thought then. I need a bit of the designer series paper. Oh, that might be quite interesting to do that on a angle, and somehow I've managed to get a splodge across there, so we'll try and, that's probably from a finger, isn't it? It's going to be one of those days. Might need to go back in with that. Yes, look, have I managed that already? I don't know. Right, where was I? Oh, leaves. We need leaves. So I'm going to use the Pear Pizzazz, as I'm going to have a Pear Pizzazz card base. So I'm just going to pop those wherever I sort of fancy. Now this one has a slight stalk on it, so I'm not going to ink the stalk up so that I can get those leaves nice and close in without that stalk. Just wondering whether to put another set there. How's that? Yeah, I think it might. Hi, Joe. So leaves, so we've got our two little sections there. See what I'm thinking, this is the one of the new designer series papers that is, that's not going to work, is it? Available now when you sign up, and will be available to the rest of us when the new catalogue comes out. So I'm thinking of that. This is, what have I used? Balmy blue. So I'm thinking balmy blue base. You love it when I think on my feet. It's how we generally work in the craft room though, isn't it? So I take a ½ centimetre off each of my layers, and then that's going to pull in all the colours that are on that card. So I've got my balmy blue. I'm going to cut the Highland Heather. Try and keep everything together. So you can see then it really just pulls the card together, and I've got that splob in that corner, so I think I'm going to have one of those little flower heads popping off that edge to mask that. The sand eraser didn't quite get it off, so I think we can add one coming in. And then to make it look like I did that deliberately, put that ink splodge on. I'm going to put one on the other corner. It's always a way of rescuing a card that doesn't quite go to plan. And then I'm going to make it look even more planned by cutting the corners off the opposite two. See? What ink splodge? That's our secret. Don't tell anybody else. They'll all want the card with a splodge on, and then I'm just going to add the smaller leaf just coming in, just so it completely ties up. See, it's the joy of live videos. You can see how to fix little things that don't quite go right, because it always happens. We're human. So then that is going to sit on those layers, so that ties up really nicely. So all I need is a little sentiment. So I need another bit of card. I'm trying to work through my little pool of scraps, because I have rather a lot of them and I keep breaking into new bits of card, and these little scraps just never end up getting used up. So all I do is just keep the scraps together. So my Whisper White is all together, my Very Vanilla is all together, and my Shimmery White, just so that I know the difference without too much effort. And then I'm going to fussy cut around this sentiment, so kind of just a couple of millimeters away, following that sort of Y around. Just cut it out of a bit of card for ease. Going into that centre section. So it's really just following the words around. So taking your scissors into the centre and then moving around your paper around, so not a traditional action, but I do find it makes it an awful lot easier. Fussy cutting was my nemesis, but I've improved by watching and learning. So it's just a nice smooth action, and there we go. I do find I have to do that on a regular basis, especially when I'm doing lives. I tend to just kind of chuck it all in a pile and then it doesn't get sorted out, and then I'm just going to add a little bit with a sponge around the edge of that just to make it pop a little bit. But yeah, if I'm not careful I end up not being sure. Calypso, coral and terracotta tile are quite similar, and sometimes if I'm not careful I've mixed them up and then you get all confused, which is not hard to do in my case. Yeah, I do use shimmery white quite a lot, so I do find if I don't keep it separate from my oh, I think I've managed to smudge another colour into that. That wasn't the best, was it? Yeah, if I don't keep my white and my shimmery white separate, we do get in a bit of a tangle. So all we've got to do now is pop our layers together. So we have a Stampin' Seal that's soon going to run out. So layering that up. That's a relatively simple card, as long as you possess the stamp set and a pair of scissors. But yeah, I find it just looks quite nice with it snuggling together. So popping those layers on, I'm going to put that last layer on dimensionals. I suppose the other thing I could have done to mask that was maybe pop a bit of ribbon on, but no good after the fact, is it? But keep that fairly central. A couple of dimensionals on the back of this. Use the larger size, just right in the centre. Take the backs off and then pop it into the middle of the card. Sort of visually check it's in the middle before I press it down firmly, then press firmly, and then probably just add a little bit of bling. Shall we add some of these? Those are the smaller size. So just having a look through. Oh, actually, let's add some of those white ones from this set. We've got 3. Actually, let's use the clear ones. Oh, I used to be decisive and now I'm not so sure. So I'm going to put 2 smaller ones and a bigger one over in this section there. So just sort of randomly placed. So there we go. Hi Jenny. So there's number 1. From that point of view, now I'm getting in a... And then I did have a play with that in another colourway the other day, and so this one uses terracotta tile and petal pink as a card base and blushing bride, and then the old olive pear pizzazz So sticking with those subtles colours again. So then, based on this, the one again I was playing with the other day, I then thought we could do something with a DL card. So what I was having a thought of was a bit of ribbon might be quite nice, but keep it simple. Oh, how about having, so what I'm thinking, and you know, I know it's dangerous, 3 colours of the cardstock with 3 flowers stamped onto it in the corresponding colours, and some leaves added, and maybe a bit of ribbon right across. We could do that in one colour, or we could do multiple colours. No, let's do multiple colours, but let's, my polka dot ribbon hasn't had an airing for a little while. I'm just quickly going to cut some polka dot ribbon. There. Just run that across. So a DL card is a third of a piece of A4, so I've just cut that. Might end up a little... Right, okay, let's start playing and see what happens. Not sure what to put in there. Oh, no, you know what we could do? Right, let's decide. You just love hearing my thought process going on, don't you? I'm going to use that flower and that flower, and maybe a section of that. I'm going to use this one to stamp the background and create a background in... Oh, let's do... I've lost my Pear Pizzazz. Let's pick up the Pear Pizzazz in this. So stamp, I just don't feel like I want a plain background. But didn't want to necessarily focus on something completely different. And if I really don't like this, we can just pop a bit of that paper across. We've got that little one, and then we've got these little ferny things. So I might just pop a few of those around. Put that coming onto the card that way. Onto the card that way, onto the card that way. Let's see what happens. It's the joy of card making. But yeah, then I'm thinking these pieces will go across. That just makes it a little bit more interesting in the background. I've got 5 bits, but right, okay, let's go. Oh, it's all coming together. So my intention was to do that, and then I had a brainwave. Should we call it a brainwave? We'll call it a brainwave. You can call it something else if you want. I'm going to put the... No, I've lost my Highland heather. It's in my pile somewhere. Where's my Highland heather gone? Someone shout where my Highland heather is. Oh, it's under there. Because this little flower head, I think, can just pop off on an angle, and then we could just add a couple of leaves. I'll just leave that Pear Pizzazz. It's dangerous to leave my Pear Pizzazz open, however. I'll try not to put my hand right into it. So that is going to sit on top of that one. So I can glue that down, glue it, tape it, whichever method of sticking you prefer. Then I'm going to have to clean that one. Let's do that before we do anything else. Oh, I feel like you can hear my tummy rumbling. Hopefully you can't. You're still with me, I haven't lost you again. So saffron. And I think we could do on this one a couple of different 2 flower heads in there, and some leaves coming around, and then quick safety check to make sure I didn't have any glue or anything to mess me up. Then that's on a saffron. Then we have Calypso Coral. Now I need, now that, so the 2 pinks, I'm just because they're both pink, I'm going to have at either end. So I need to think about this one, don't I? So let's have Blushing Bride in, oh actually, let's do one of the bigger, I need to clean that because that's got glue on it as well. Although, had I made this mistake, obviously that bit of card has 2 sides. So I'm just going to pop it sort of right across. Then add some leaves. Like that. Get the Blushing Bride out of the way so we don't stick a finger or an elbow in. Quick check. So my snow's gone. Has everybody's snow disappeared from their areas? Fingers crossed. So we've got a pink, then that, then that, then terracotta tile. So I might do that singular rose again, being mindful to that terracotta tile, Calypso Coral even. So I might angle it the other way to what I did. Actually put one higher and maybe one coming off. So they're all going to be slightly different. But we're coordinating because we're using all the subtle colours. And it's the same stamp set, so it all matches. So there we go, that's that one. So then I might use that same one again, but do it the other way around. So the petal pink is a slightly oranger pink than Blushing Bride. So I used that end, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the other end and have it going the other way. But I'm thinking if this design works, there's all sorts of things that we could use it for. I'm just going to pop a little few of those. Stameny bits, so all leaves. Just tie in that. That wouldn't make sense, would it? Let's do it off that way. Just a suggestion of leaves flying off. Let's clear the decks a bit, shall we? So that's our card base, bit of ribbon, which I didn't cut long enough. That's a scrap piece of ribbon now. Because what I'm thinking is tying it around. But I don't, because obviously it's going to be seen on the inside of the card. Yeah, I think we had just drizzly rain yesterday. It didn't do it properly. It was like just general. Actually, to be fair, tying it in a knot doesn't work either, does it? That's not going to work if I'm putting. Oh, right, okay. Let's go back. Oh, I've got it now. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to position that and I'm going to stick it down at the same time I stick those elements down. So as such, that won't be stuck separately. Don't know why I thought I could tie that in a knot. That was a bit of a... That wasn't going to work with 5. So I've got 5 of my little squares now. Hi, Nicola. So I'm going to slightly angle that one that way. So that should secure that bit of ribbon underneath. And what I'm thinking is jaunty angles. What we need to make sure is we don't run out of space at this end, because that I kind of want to be in that position. So, oh, do you know what? Shut the peppers out. My elbow nearly went into that one. So we've got to be. Now I've got the challenge of keeping my ribbon straight and sticking all my bits on. So that right. So let's get that one stuck on. So using Stampin' Seal Plus, you could use Tombow if Tombow is your preferred method of gluing. I'm going to put it slightly higher. So my ribbon is sort of in the middle. But seriously, anybody who got a card would not be measuring and criticising you for not having the ribbon exactly in the middle. So never ever worry about that. Oh, look at that. Love it when a plan comes together. See, and it just shows you Marie should not try and do from drawings. She should just have it in her head and see what the heck happens. After those strange drawings the other week. So last one, which I think will go slightly that way. Then all I need to do with the ribbon is I'm going to cut off the end to just match the card base. And the only thing we'd need to be careful to do is popping it in an envelope. It's only the tiniest little bit that's showing, but that's fine. Excuse me. And then that, I think all that would need would be a sentiment in the centre, easy for me to say, and some bling. Which I'm thinking, we've got these lovely water droplets. They might look rather nice. So that's the matte version. I need a fairy to come and tidy my desk when I've done a live.
Oh, hello. Is it, yeah, plant box?
Oh. Oh.
Thank you.
I'm going to pop one there. And there we go. So I had an email this morning saying I was going to get a Yodel delivery today between 6 and 8. And it said click here to track your parcel, and I thought, I'm not going to click there because I'm not sure that I'm expecting a Yodel parcel. So I said to David, I have had an email, the plants might arrive, but it might not be. I'm not clicking to see. So we've gotten so suspicious these days, I think, of emails saying click here. So my plants have arrived. So that's 2 trees for the garden and something else that I bought. Anyway, I've got plants. Good job that snow's passed. Was that your fairy? Oh, if only, Jane. Sadly, that was not the fairy to clean my craft room, tidy my craft room up. That was a plant delivery. That would have actually been quite funny. The timing of that was quite excellent, wasn't it? So there we go. So these were ones I did prior to today. So it's just showing different ways. As I say, that one I just did the different sections of the different flowers. This one I did the other day in the Blushing Bride and Terracotta Tile. Tried this one today with the Balmy Blue and Highland Heather, and then had the thought of a DL card, which I think I quite like. So anyway, thank you all for joining me, and thank you for those that lost me in the first place and then got me back. Thank you for coming back and finding me. I really appreciate it. Have a lovely evening, and I will see you again soon. Take care. Bye bye.